So about a month ago, the Candy Drop Cookie update released, and with that update, we obviously got a new cookie in Candy Drop Cookie herself. She's a new and first Epic Earth Tagger cookie of the magic attack type. Now, if I'm being honest, I just haven't been able to find the time recently to make the guide until now, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't able to because her build changed very quickly after her launch with the whole Extraordinary Origin drama. But hey, rejoice, the guide is finally here. Now, I don't want to stall too much, so let's begin. So on screen right now, you can see the current Candy Drop Cookie guide card. Pause right now if you would like to look at it, and let's move on. But first, let's take a look at what Candy Drop Cookie actually does. First of all, we have her passive skill, Reflection. Now what her passive does is whenever enemies are hit with any kind of attack, her special skill damage and ultimate damage is increased on that target for a short period of time. Next up, we have her basic attack, Lotus Jade, which throws a candy orb forward. Next up, we have our charge up attack, Silent Blooming Lotus, which throws 3 candy orbs forward at once. This charge up is how you want to be using her basic attack. Next up, we have our special skill, Virtuous Precepts. What it does is it creates an area that does periodic damage to enemies inside, and at the end, it does a big hit. This ability also applies the elemental tag to enemies. Finally, we have her ultimate skill, Pursuit of Truth. Pursuit of Truth will summon 6 candy orbs that will attack nearby enemies and will refresh after all 6 orbs have hit an enemy. Each orb applies the elemental tag and reduces the enemy's defense. This ability also stays active even if Candy Drop Cookie herself is switched out. Her 2-star promotion increases her special skill's damage. Her 4-star promotion increases the duration of her ultimate and increases the number of attacks it does. And finally, her word soup of a 5-star promotion, pretty much what it does is after she uses her special skill, she enhances her next charge up attack to apply defense down and do extra damage. But now it's time to get to the meat of the guide. Her best artifact is going to be none other than Going Beyond. Now this artifact is good for multiple reasons. I mean, first of all, it gives attack as its default stat, which is obviously good for an attack scaling cookie like Candy Drop. And second of all, once you reach 3-star promotions on it, it is just a better path of training. So ideally, when you are using this, you are going to be pulling for copies because you do want the extra bonuses that the copies provide. Because like I said, at the 3-star promotion, it does what Path of Training does, and it increases your elemental damage by 14%. And even further, at the final promotion, that attack increase is 24%, which is a sizable difference and upgrade compared to Path of Training. So seriously, this artifact is worth picking up. Now, her second best and inferior option is Extraordinary Origin. Now, this artifact was actually caught in a lot of controversy because it's a DPS artifact for a supportish character, and Going Beyond essentially power crept it. So if you were like me, I obviously wanted to get the refund for it, so I will be getting my artifact select chest whenever they send those out. But if you didn't do that, or you just don't have a copy of Going Beyond, Extraordinary Origin is still a pretty good choice as it gives debuff amplification, and it increases your special skill and ultimate crit damage. And obviously it gives attack as its default stat, but do keep in mind that Going Beyond is still better because the attack buffs that it provides are just so massive. And after that, her next best option is going to be Path of Training. Now, I've already sung the praises about why giving your allies attack is so strong, so I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. Do keep in mind that you do want this artifact at 5 stacks when using it, or sorry, 5 promotions when using it, because 5 promotions is obviously when it's best, and because it's a rare artifact, you shouldn't have any trouble getting that. The only reason why it's not better than Extraordinary Origin is because Extraordinary Origin does increase her self damage by a lot. Which again, going back to Going Beyond, it does what both Path of Training and Extraordinary Origin does, which is why it's so good. But yeah, if you don't have either of those two, Path of Training is still a good option. And the final viable artifact we have is the classic newest formula. The reason why this artifact isn't better all comes down to the fact that Candy Drop is the rockstar of debuffers, and what I mean is because she debuffs defense, she can be used with pretty much anyone. This was especially apparent in last season's champion raids because she was the go-to tagger for every single comp no matter what. Now, with the introduction of elemental champion raids coming here soon, I think newest formula could probably find more use usage. But honestly, as of right now, there are just better options as opposed to newest formula. Now onto weapons. Her best weapon is going to be her unique, the Staff of Jinri. This is actually a pretty low value unique because it gives attack instead of debuff amp, which is ideally what Candy Drop Cookie would want. So while it will be increasing her damage, ultimately you can probably focus on getting other uniques before hers. But other weapon options do include the Baguette Staff and the Boomerang Candy, and obviously the Choco Spear. For super epic equipment sets, Golden Finery is currently Candy Drop's best equipment set. Now there are a lot of things that make this set so good on Candy Drop in particular, so let's go through them real quick. First of all, we have the item substats, which shows that the headpiece provides crit rate, the body piece provides special skill damage, and the legwear provides ultimate damage. All three of these things are stats that Candy Drop Cookie wants. And let's not forget the passive, where it increases elemental burst damage from tags created by her, and the debuff amplification. This set is honestly just something else. It is incredibly broken on Candy Drop in particular, as all the stats work for her, the passive works for her, actually both passives work for her. So yeah, this is a must-have on Candy Drop Cookie currently. There is also a high chance that a lot of you have it, as it was a part of last season's champion raids. Now, if you don't have Golden Finery, Ghost Captains is always a second best set. The only noticeable stat is the debuff amplification on the headpiece, and then obviously we have the passive that increases your attack, and by using your special skill you reduce nearby enemies' defense. It's just a solid support set, but it does not beat Golden Finery, and if anyone tells you so, they're wrong. But honestly, do not settle for Ghost Captains. I would still say go for Golden Finery. Now I'm going to include these two sets to include them, but we have the Earth Descendants Vestment and the new official TBD uniform set. I don't think I need to explain Earth Descendants, as it just provides a ton of Earth attack and Earth elemental damage. So if you want to build a DPS Candy Drop for fun, then this set is always an option. And I felt like including this new set, as it increases your attack by a ton when you attack targets that have an elemental tag. But I don't think it will be that good for Candy Drop specifically. This set seems to be something tailored more towards Cherry Cookie. So yeah, I'm including these two sets, but I would not recommend building them in the slightest. But I guess they're options. Now on to epic equipment options. For headwear, we have the bamboo hat, the golden rose crown, and the aurora hood. For bodywear, we just have the black gothic dress and the candy cuirass. And finally, for legwear, we have the starlight skirt, the assassin pants, and the Arum dragon armor. Pretty much just focus on the crit pieces before the attack pieces, but prioritize the starlight skirt over everything else, as the debuff amplification is really what Candy Drop wants. Now on to hidden powers. First off, Candy Drop obviously wants the Earth Hidden Power set, but for specific hidden powers, on her weapon, she wants to prioritize crit rate or crit damage, then Earth attack, and then attack percent. On her headwear, she also wants to prioritize crit rate or crit damage, but then she wants to prioritize attack percent and then Earth damage. For both the body and the legwear, she wants to prioritize debuff amplification, then crit rate or crit damage, and then attack percentage. Now, Candy Drop's teammates aren't really that complicated. She ideally works with Earth DPS like Sting Durian, but because she does defense down with her ultimate instead of Earth resistance down, just like Rockstar, she can be a tagger for pretty much any team, which is what's so good about her. But with the introduction of, again, elemental champion raids, this is going to change real soon. So yeah, ideally she is good with Earth DPS, but because Sting Durian isn't great, she can be slotted into pretty much any team and work. And here's the customary look at my Candy Drop. She is not amazing, but hey. Overall, I enjoyed the addition of Candy Drop Cookie because she finally spiced up the tagger meta, and it wasn't just use the tagger for your element, it was use Candy Drop, which sounds boring, but it's not that bad. She had her time in the spotlight, and even though she won't be as useful with the elemental raids, you can still find a lot of use for her in modes like Sugar Rush, like the Boss Rush event, like Infinite Labyrinth, because these are just modes where you can use her alongside other elemental DPS, meaning you can actually benefit off of her defense shred. But before you go, I want to leave you with some words of wisdom. Now, first of all, when doing her rotations, keep in mind that the tag created from her skill lasts between 6 to 7 seconds. I couldn't really figure out. It was between 6 or 7. And the tag created from her ultimate hits lasts about 4 seconds. Why is this important? Well, after her ultimate ends, make sure you wait before the tag ends before you use your special skill to reapply it. Because you can achieve a 100% tag uptime with her, you just have to be very smart with how you play. So yeah, mainly pay attention to the tag after you use your ultimate and the hits stop hitting. The other thing is that, I already said this earlier, but you primarily want to be using her charge attack, not her basic attack. Her basic attack shoots too slow to really consider it useful. It's kind of like the opposite of Kohlrabi, where with Kohlrabi you didn't want to use the charge attack, but with Candy Drop you do want to use her charge attack just to maximize damage. I guess it doesn't really matter, but yeah. And I suppose that is it for the Candy Drop guide. I do want to apologize again that this took so long to get out. I have just been busy adjusting to a new school schedule, so yeah, that's not fun. But I do plan on uploading a little more regularly from now on, so don't worry, I won't disappear for a month again, hopefully. If you did enjoy or find this helpful, a like and a subscribe would be very appreciated. Also, make sure to join my Discord server and the Tower of Builds Discord server in the description down below. Anyways, until next time.